Okay, today we're talking about my favorite topic ever because everybody asked me this question, and for some reason I haven't made a video on it before. But this is how to motivate students to write. So, almost every day I get someone who's using our writing curriculum or has taken one of my trainings or has read my book or knows of me who asks the question, how do I get my students motivated? So, they have the systems in place to teach writing, they have all the ideas they need, but they go to do it and the students won't actually write, or they complain about it, or their writing is very fast. So in this video, we're going to address what you can do other than just the common sense basics of have cool, fun supplies and let them sit there in their own areas. Like those are cool and everything, but we have some really concrete ideas that you may not have thought before that will really motivate your students. So I can't wait to share those with you. Now, we have to motivate our students to write because we need that output from them. We need to actually have a score for them. But other than that, it's really important to teach our students to love writing because it's an important life skill. In order for students to succeed, they're going to be writing not only emails, text messages, maybe even letters, who knows what the future holds, might make a comeback, blog posts, briefs for their companies. I mean, even just emailing or texting a customer from the company they work with, it's so important. They need to make sure they have the right voice, they have the right grammar, everything is appropriate, formatted right. And one of the issues that I hear from high school and college professors are that their students can't write. So at the elementary level, especially, and the middle school level, we need to continue to instill a love of writing. We can't do that if kids hate writing already, if they're not motivated and they don't want to listen to us. So this is going to be a very important video. Also, you're going to notice if your students are really motivated writers and they get the time they need to learn and hone their skills for writing, you're going to see them grow in the other subject areas because, of course, they're writing about those subject areas, and you're going to get better written responses in science, math, reading, etc. So if you watch just one video on writing instruction from me, this is definitely the one. Okay, so let's talk about the first way that you can motivate students to write. And that is starting off with your first lesson, having their actual input. So when you sit down for a unit, you might have a writing prompt for them, or maybe you are going to do it open-ended. But no matter what you do, you should have a session with your students where whole group, you are able to share ideas. Then you can have them work in groups, have them chat in partners. There should be tons of discussion before you get started. You are not going to get the buy-in for your writing piece if you hand them a prompt and don't give them the chance to talk about it. So I don't want to do anything test prep style, which is here's a prompt, let's rush through, just do it, right? Finish it up. We need to move on. No, we don't want to do that. We are telling our students writing is a priority. It is fun. We are going to take the time to really talk about this topic. Maybe we'll read some books on it. Maybe the students can bring in some books on their topic or your topic. We are going to discuss it and make sure that we are excited about it before we even write one thing down. So this is pre-brainstorming. Make sure that you have a ton of discussion about the prompt, get your students pumped up about it. You learn a lot about the topic. You let them ask and answer questions. You let them talk to each other. Make it a big deal. Motivation strategy number 2 is related to the first one because this has to do with choosing your prompt. You want to choose a topic or a prompt or a writing type that's going to lend well to having an authentic audience or an authentic output. So instead of having your students constantly write just to turn it into a bin or turn it into you digitally, your students should have a purpose. So any topic can have a purpose. If they're writing about a science topic that you're learning about in science, they can write it for a student of their age. They can write it for a younger kid. I have done activities before where we have written narratives about a informational topic, and we have made it really fun. Narrative nonfiction is very popular on testing, so it's important to note that. But they have gone and written children's books about their story that has to do with this science topic. So they're able to take what they know about this topic, which is great to include other subject areas, and make it into something they're really excited about for a younger people in the school. So we have done this. They have read their books to the younger kids, kinder first graders, and it was like the joy of their school year. So think of ways that they can write for an authentic audience and have authentic output. So they may need to write an essay, but what can they then do with it? Can they make it into a narrative nonfiction book? Can they put it online as a podcast? What can they do that's going to get them excited about sharing it? The second I say podcast, my students are all in. So it's just really important to think about what other outputs can we use to drive our students that aren't just regular old essays over and over and over again. As an adult, I would probably not like that myself. I definitely did not like that in college. But the second I had a professor who asked me to put it in a blog post, I was like, yes, I cannot wait. And then I would share it with people. It was very exciting. So output and having varying output that's authentic is really important. And the third tip that I want to share is making things relevant. So your students surprisingly know a lot of what's going on in today's current events. They have conversations with their families. They have conversations with their friends. My kids come home telling me things all the time that it just blows my mind that they understand how it works. So bring in some of those current events and relevant topics when you're choosing your writing prompt. And again, add lots and lots of discussion about it. So one example would be having students come up with something for an opinion writing piece that is relevant to our community. So having students brainstorm some problems that we have in our community. And they know the problems in your community because I, as a parent, spend a lot of time complaining about certain things in our community. And my kids parrot it back to me to the point where I'm like, oh, I should really stop complaining about that. But that's what our students will do as well. And if it's something they're talking about at home, and they're also really passionate about it because their parents are passionate about it, or maybe it's just something having to do with like their interests, then you're going to get a lot of motivation and buy-in. So bring those opportunities into your writing prompts and your writing process so that your topics are relevant and engaging for students. Okay, number 4 is the most powerful one of all. And this has to be done right, or else it can kind of do the opposite of motivating. But this is peer feedback and collaboration. So we talked a lot about what to do at the beginning. And the end, we talked about starting and the output. But in the middle of their writing pieces, when you are teaching your mini lessons on how to do the writing process, it's important to have feedback from their peers. So not just feedback from you, not just feedback from someone who's marking up their writing, but authentic and helpful feedback from their peers every single day that they can get it. So I have a peer feedback video. You should definitely check that out. I will link in the description, but that will show you how to incorporate this into your daily lessons for students who are finished early or stuck, and it helps you with your management as well. But basically, we want to teach students how to give each other quality feedback, give them opportunity to give each other quality feedback, and also give them the opportunity to collaborate. So we too often want our students to write quietly because we're worried about them getting distracted and not doing any writing at all. But with the proper instruction and the proper management of this, we can have our students collaborate and learn from each other and then add to their writing pieces and make them so much better. So if you have that collaboration, your students are going to come into writing time knowing that it's exciting. They get to collaborate with their friends, learn more, they get to research, they get to just participate. They don't have to just sit and write and get burnt out. Okay, so this is such an important way to keep motivation. So those 4 tips on their own will make a huge difference in your writing block. I have an additional training if you are looking for more information on engaging your students during your mini lesson and also helping to reach all your different levels of writers. We'll talk about how to help your special education students, your English language learners, how to put together cohesive lessons that engage all of your students. So we're really going to get down to the nitty gritty of building lessons and your writing block. I will link to that training in the description below. It's a 90-minute training. It's totally free. I'll also link to my book and a couple other important pieces of information that you might find helpful. And I would just appreciate it if you could hit the like button and leave me a comment letting me know which one of these motivators you want to try in your classroom. And also, you can let me know what questions you have about writing instruction, and if there is a one that I haven't done a video on yet, then I may record one. And if there is one that I've done a video on, I will definitely share you that link. So I am here for your everything writing instruction. I am April Smith and happy to help. So definitely let me know what you need in the comments below. All right, thank you so much for watching.